Apparently we're live. Let's have a look what we got. Okay. So, just while we're waiting for people to join us, yeah, I've had an interesting week with money.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
It's been just from our chat we had last was it last week we talked about this doing.
It was last week, yeah.
My God, the days are just sort of all coming in together, aren't they? And anyway, so I've had as I put on your group, I was wondering how money was going to show up, and then they had that booking, and then somebody commented, and then that booking's come in this week as well. But what was really interesting is that hello, Claudia darling, how are you? What was really, really interesting is I had my statement come through today from the publishers.
Yeah.
From, because obviously you get an advance and you get your royalties. So I had my first royalty statement come through today, and I wasn't expecting that until June. Oh. Now, as I expected, I haven't earned anything because obviously you've got to pay the royalty back. But actually, I've done an awful lot better, and we've sold so many cards worldwide. Amazing. Many more than I thought. And it's like, okay, so when the statement comes out in 6 months' time, you get your royalties twice a year. I will actually have some money. I won't have very much.
But then after that, it's all yours, isn't it? All those royalties are yours. That's amazing.
And actually, I think the way it's worked out is actually better than I thought I was going to earn anyway. So, nice. It was really interesting. And my husband came, he was absolutely mortified. He went, "Oh my God, so I'm so sorry. I've opened one of your letters." I said, "Doesn't matter, it's fine." I said, "What is it?" And he went, "Oh my God, it's your statement, your royalty statement." He said, "Oh my God, I feel really bad now that I've spoiled it."
Oh, that must be really lovely though to see how many sets you've sold.
Yeah. And it's interesting that we've sold so many more overseas than the UK. We've sold triple overseas. We've sold in the UK.
Wow. Wow. Is that in the States mainly?
States, mostly, a lot in America. So I suppose they bring Canada into the same sort of North America thing. I suppose they bring Canada into it as well. Australia and South Africa, New Zealand.
Oh, lovely. Lovely.
Really, it's really been really interesting. And what's really, really interesting is that my artist has just emigrated to New Zealand. He's emigrated this week.
Oh, wow. You need to have a visit, take some cards out.
Yeah. So of course, he can be out there now. No, I'll have this conversation. Terence, if you're watching, darling, you're going to be networking, love.
He doesn't know it yet.
Network dragons, the other side of the world.
He doesn't know it yet, but he will be.
He will be, absolutely. It's been a really, it's just shifting that mindset that we were talking about, and that looking at how we view money. So it's just a little bit of an anecdote of what's been going on for me. So we just say hello. So you've got Clodagh, Paula, and Michelle. So evening, ladies.
Hi,
ladies. Have you with us? We've got 12 watching. So do come on and say hi rather than Facebook stalk. We like to know who's stalking us and who we're who's here and who's not here. Hi Veronica, how are you, my love? So while we've got a few of you on, I'm really excited tonight to have Eloise on here. I've been Facebook stalking her for probably quite a while because I'm really interested in the work that she does. Now, I've worked with sort of manifestation stuff for years, and what's really, really interesting, I mean, you might have an answer for this. All the stuff that I've learned about manifestation and being successful and money and all that kind of stuff, I've taught my husband. And I remember when he's been in business, this particular business he's in now, as he's a tradesman. He's been in this business 22 years, something like that. I remember when he was sort of first starting out, and he was doing quotes and things like that. And he would go back and revisit this quote like so many times before he sent it out. Then he'd go and explain it to the customer and why it was cost this much money and la la la. I've actually said to him, "Look, you're killing yourself. Just bloody email it."
Yeah.
You know. And they said, "Oh, I've got to explain it all." I said, "No, you haven't got to justify anything." I said, "What is it?" And we went through the whole emotion of it all. Then we got down to bottom line figures, and I said, "Look, go with what you've got to cover your cost. You've got to cover the wages and everything else, your overheads and running your van, all that kind of stuff. You've got to cover all those things. But you've also got to have a bit for the pot. So you've got to have your profit. And that's what feeds us. And I said, so go with where it feels comfortable. Now, that means you take 50 quid off it or 500 quid off it, or you put another 75 quid or whatever on. You've got to go with where it feels comfortable.
Absolutely.
So he started employing this in his business. We've been in business now 22 years. When the crash hit, the bank crash hit in 2009, I got home from work on a Thursday night, and he said to me, "We've got no work on Monday." I went, "What?" He said, "I've got nothing in the diary. First time ever, nothing in the diary."
Yeah.
What shit.
Yeah, that's scary.
I went, okay. I said, something will sort out. I said, look, talk to them upstairs. I said, something will sort itself out. Friday afternoon, you had an email from a chap in South Korea, had a vacant property in the town that we lived in, and said, "Oh, that's really what your availability is, but my house needs completely renovating."
Oh, what a gift.
25 grand later, biggest job I'd ever done.
Wow.
And it's all because the energy behind it.
Yeah.
I said, look, don't panic. If you panic, it's going to freeze. I said, so don't panic. And that really set him up. And that was his first real big job.
And that's such a good point. When you panic, you hold on too tight, and then the opposite of manifestation happens.
Yeah, because it just blocks everything. And so he's applied all of this stuff to his business, and his customers. It's all repeat work. It's all recommendation. And he's got a really established business. And what I want to talk to you about is I've taught him what I know. He's got an incredible business. Even through the COVID stuff, we've been furloughed and one thing and another, but we still managed to keep going. And he's now booking work for next summer because he's fully booked this year.
Amazing.
But I'm talking if I could do it for me.
yeah. There's a reason for that, Caroline, and I think mainly the reason is women have a real attachment to money in terms of what it means. Men seem to be able to let things go a lot easier. We know that generally. Not all men, but they don't overthink it. They just, if they're going to manifest, they manifest, and they don't think, oh, but it's money. We could I manifested this house. I can manifest a house.
Yes, I did that.
Yeah, exactly. And yet when you focus on money, you have a block that stops you actually pulling it towards you. And I think men are just better at surrendering because they don't overthink it. We just think too much sometimes about it. And money has a lot of meaning for us.
Okay. Interesting. I've got a shadow of guilt around money.
Yeah.
And we couldn't be further apart, me and my other half. Because for him, money is what gives us a lifestyle. It's important to him. Whereas actually, in many ways, I don't actually give two hoots for it. And he says I'm the cheapest date ever.
But if you don't give two hoots about money, why would she give two hoots about you?
You said she.
Yeah.
Why is it she?
Because money itself doesn't have any energy. You can put different energy behind it. And we as a society tend to put masculine energy behind it. Like, we know we've got to work hard for it. We know we've got to, drive and strive to get it. We call it cold, hard cash. Very masculine words. I call it she because when you put feminine energy behind it, she becomes creative, playful. She becomes supportive and flowing, all those sort of feminine words. And it's amazing the shift that happens to your money flow when you start seeing, you don't have to see her as a woman, but seeing her with more feminine energy. And that comes towards you a lot more because we're quite in tune with that feminine energy as females.
And the thing is, and actually then money then becomes nurturing. It becomes self-care.
Yes.
It becomes oh God, I don't know. Come on, guys, give me some words. But it comes all it's not that, because I was talking to a girlfriend about this at the weekend. I said, is money male or female? She said, it's male. I went, okay. I said, what does money feel like to you? She said, controlling. She reeled off all these things. I went, I'm totally with you. I resonate with you completely, because that's, for me, it's that control. It's that using it as a stick. It's that all kinds of different things.
And we don't like being controlled, do we? So we push.
No.
we push anyone or anything that tries to control us as far away as we can.
Yeah.
And that's what we do with money, because we think it's trying to control us.
Yeah, so it's evil or it's bad.
Yeah. I mean, we're taught that as kids, aren't we? Money's the root of all evil. Yeah. They don't put that in your mouth, it's dirty. Well, my mum said that to me a lot.
Yeah.
About money. But so we're pushing it away because we have these subconscious beliefs that money is bad, money is evil, money is dirty, money is cold, money is controlling. And changing beliefs isn't easy, but actually making a choice to think about money as nurturing, as fun, as beautiful, flowing, playful. Yeah, fun.
Okay, go on, fun and playful. How the hell's money fun and playful? Okay, you can buy a holiday in the summer. I've got COVID, but how can it be playful and fun?
So one thing that you said when we first came on was that you didn't know where the money was going to come from, and you posted in my group that money was starting to come from directions that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, completely.
So one way money is playful and fun is that she likes to surprise you. It's like your husband coming home with a bunch of flowers. She's like, hey, you weren't expecting this. Here's some money. So you got different routes in. And you've got to play that game with her.
And actually, the other day, he put 167 in my account I didn't know about.
There you go. She's being playful.
Thank you, Alex. I really needed that in my bank.
Yeah, but then you got things coming in from other directions, didn't you?
Yeah.
Thing with money is it's all around us. Money is everywhere, all around us. We're tuned out from it. If you tune into it, you'll go and find money on the street. You'll find money in a bank account you've forgotten about. You'll find a refund from a company that you'd forgotten that you'd asked for. I've just noticed Lucy N's here. She found hundreds of pounds just lying around her house that she didn't know she had. So it was hiding.
Hundreds of pounds lying around the house and not know you've got it.
It was hiding from her, and it hides from all of us. When I go into my purse knowing there's no money in there, she surprises me and there's like a nice £10 note in there. It's amazing.
Isn't that interesting? So it sort of suddenly starts popping up, as it were.
Yeah, because you're playing the game, you're looking for it, you're engaging with money rather than pushing it away. You're actually engaging with money.
Where intention flows, energy goes. Where intention flows, energy goes.
Yeah, and if you focus on money in a good way, you'll get that focus back to you.
So this is why when people start looking at manifesting money, actually so underneath that, they may desperately need it. But underneath that, there could well be guilt or anger or something else behind it that then blocks it and blocks that flow, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, any manifestation with a need behind it creates a negative attachment. It's actually a don't want rather than a want when it's a need. Yeah. So when you need something, it's because you don't want the pain of what it is not having it is giving you. Does that make sense? So if you say, I want £200 because you need £200.
Yeah,
it's not. You're pushing it away. You're having. It's like
because it's that I must have you.
Yeah. Money is like a woman. She needs to be free, but she also needs to be held. Right. It's getting that balance. If you're too needy and you hold on too tight, she's like, oh, get out. But if she's looked after, she'll go out, come back, bring you some more. You know, it's a really fascinating way to look at money. Fascinating.
She's a bit fickle then, really, isn't she?
She's actually not fickle. She's very reliable. But she is like a bird that flies out of the cage and comes back to you because she wants to come back to you, because you nurture her. Like one thing that I get my ladies to do when in my academy is have somewhere beautiful for money to come and live with you. So like a beautiful purse. Because if you're chucking your money in an old bag that's broken, she's not going to feel very nice in there.
Interesting.
So put her somewhere lovely. I've got on my altar, I've got a bowl of money. I've got £10 notes. I've got chocolate money. I've got actual money. Just somewhere nice so I can look at it as well. Somewhere pretty.
So that now brings me to something's just sort of popped into mind. Now, I heard many years ago that citrine is the stone of money. Now, I've had citrine in my purse is downstairs in my handbag, but I don't know if I've still got a piece of citrine in there or not. I can't remember. So how does money? So I know we hadn't talked about this question, so I'm going to pounce it on you. Sorry. How does money and spirituality go together? Now, my mentor, way back, always stipulated that there should never, ever be an exchange of money for spiritual services. Mm-hmm. He was devout. He was spiritual church through and through. He was an incredible healer, a bloody good platform medium, etc. And he was very, very much, because he had that sort of, I'll use the word indoctrination, that money should never, ever change hands. You are serving spirit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there really is, even today, there is this thing that in the mind, body, spirit field, there's like two camps. There's the haves and the have-nots. So there's the people like me that are published authors that are out doing their thing, and they've reached the heights of their career and they're rolling in it, which could be further from the truth, by the way. And then there are those that are trying to climb up the ladder and learn and understand and want to make a living out of it and can't.
Yeah.
And my husband said to me so many times, for God's sake, will you just pack up what the fuck you're doing? You're never going to make any money. You're not making any money. You've been at this now 20 bloody years and you still haven't got 2 shillings to rub your fucking arse cheeks with. To quote him completely.
Yeah, and you said you have guilt around money as well. So that's quite tied up.
That possibly comes from my mentor inadvertently, because he actually then over as the years went by, because I was with him for many years, for probably nearly 2 decades. And then he actually, because he was also very anti-tarot. And so, but he then went on to learn that tarot is a very good tarot reader and actually charged for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I don't know why there was a difference, but anyway. Yeah. So it's really quite interesting where you have these two camps, that there's, you shouldn't charge for spiritual services, you shouldn't charge for this. The one thing I probably agree with most people is that I wouldn't charge for spirit rescue work. Other than my phone, my phone was silent. That's probably the only thing I wouldn't charge for, other than no fuel expenses. But yeah, so what is it? So what do you have a theory on that, or do you have or how do people that are in the spiritual holistic field that are struggling to make money, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so a couple of things actually. My first question would be why should people who study for years and years and years and practice and develop into really skillful, whatever their role is, doctors, teachers, therapists, healers, card readers, why should only one set of those people be allowed to charge for that, and not being spiritually gifted it takes work. We know that. We have to get good at it, don't we? We train. We probably spend longer training in our spirituality than we do in university. And it is a gift and a talent, but so is what other people do. So it is a choice at the end of the day. Some people may choose to give for free, but I think the guilt that you mentioned around money comes in a lot harder. So what I find is that healers tend to have, there's 8 money personalities, 8 sacred money archetypes. Okay. And healers and spiritual people tend to have an alchemist quite high somewhere in there. And an alchemist is someone who knows that they need to make money to live, but they also hate the social injustice of what money represents. So that
yes.
So you're constantly having this internal battle with yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is for me,
So
for me personally.
Yeah.
If
So,
I could do the whole bloody lot for free and not need to pay my mortgage, I would.
but then how would you live? How would you make sure you were filled up enough that you were overflowing your beautiful energy?
Exactly.
Your dragons aren't going to come to you. Exactly. Your dragons aren't going to come to you if you are not in a place to receive them. And unfortunately, or fortunately, it takes money to feel, healthy. I've got another take on this. Spiritual people, we love salt, don't we? Salt, everything. Yeah. Salt was money once. The Romans used to pay their soldiers in salt, but we don't attach any yuckiness to salt. In fact, we're going to use that. It's going to cleanse everything. The word salary comes from the salt that they used to pay their soldiers in Roman times. So it's money itself has no meaning. We put meaning behind it. Like we now put meaning behind salt, that it's a cleansing crystal, really powerful. We've put this negative energy, this masculine energy into money, and then we get the guilt and the shame, and we shouldn't be charging. In fact, most spiritual people aren't charging anywhere near enough.
No.
And they suffer as a result.
Yeah.
You don't
their own health suffers, their own mental health suffers, their own well-being. And I've seen it so many times over the years through, so many friends and peers and colleagues and whatever. And we go through these peaks and troughs, and I've seen their own health and well-being suffer because they're busting their gut to help other people.
But they're not helping themselves.
But they're barely scraping a living to look after themselves.
And here's another thing about money is your relationship with money is a direct mirror of your relationship with yourself.
No.
So if you think about your money and how you treat it and how you feel about treating yourself, if you're pushing money away, you might think, a great example, you ask a man what a treat would be for him and he'd go, Lamborghini. A woman, a bath, right? A bath. So we're not valuing ourselves. I'm not saying we should all go out after Lamborghinis, but we attach it'd be such a treat for me. And if someone bought us a Lamborghini, we'd feel guilty, right?
Yeah.
But if someone ran us a bath, we wouldn't. So we have this natural inbuilt thing as women, as well as spiritual people, that, we can't have more. We can't have more than enough. We can just struggle, but we don't have to struggle. We have to fill ourselves up. When we fill ourselves up, we get more money coming towards us, and then we're more filled up. It's like this never-ending cycle. But your relationship with money will be a direct mirror to your relationship with yourself. So if you're not charging enough money, your self-care will be low, your self-esteem will be low, your confidence will be low. So the money actually really helps us to feel good about ourselves because we spend time on ourselves. We're kinder to ourselves when we're successful.
How interesting.
It is, isn't it?
It is, because Anya and I had a really long conversation this morning about the cost of workshops and the meditations and all that kind of thing. And we had a really in-depth, really honest, because we do have these really honest conversations. And it was really interesting that, because she said, well, no, should we sort of drop the price on it? Should we do this? Should we do that? And I said, do you know what? There's already a discount if you're a part of my newsletter.
Yeah.
So anything that goes out. Anything that's advertised goes out my newsletter first, and those guys get first dibs on any places that are available at a discounted price.
And so you don't need to give any more, do you?
No, and then it goes out to the rest of the world if anybody would like to join us at the full price. And it's like, I actually really wouldn't be comfortable bringing that down. And Kev was in the office at the same time, and he said the thing is, if you drop that down, say for example, you drop each meditation to £5, he said, then you've then got to get 4 times as many people onto that workshop to make the same amount of money as you were making previously. He said, no. He said, you're not doing it. He's my voice of reason.
Yeah.
But I'd already thought, as you just said, that actually I value my time and myself and what I give. And those that are meant to be there, that are drawn to work with me, will be there, whether it's 1 or 60.
Yeah, and if they pay the right price, they'll get better results. This is the weird. This blew my mind when I heard it.
Okay, that's an interesting thought. Go on then.
Yeah. So this absolutely blew my mind. People who pay attention. We've all spent $10 on an online course and not done it. When the money is enough that we are committed to getting results, we show up with a different mindset. We're open to the results being even bigger. So hypnotherapy is something that I absolutely love having. And I remember paying a very expensive price for hypnotherapy. And because of the price, I was like, this is going to work. So my mind was wide open to results, far more so than someone who charged a very small amount or gave it away for free. Because I'd be like, well, maybe they can't be that good if they're not charging enough. So your clients actually get more from you when you charge. So if you're giving everything away for free, they take you for granted. You feel like you've been taken for granted. You resent that time.
Yeah.
And they don't get the results that they'd get if they were paying you for your spiritual services.
Yes.
And paying you a good price for your spiritual services. It creates belief in them, and they're open to that. It's a weird thing, but the more higher you price, the better results your clients get, and the easier your clients get as well. It's amazing. It's one of those things you have to try it though.
It's actually, and I had a very similar conversation with my dog trainer this week. I know we're going. I don't talk about dogs, and we got spiritual dogs and whatever. For what I've worked with this guy now for a couple of years, and with another friend of mine. And we've been last summer through lockdown when we were allowed to meet. The three of us were walking with our pack, because we've now got 6 dogs we walk with. Between the three of us, we've got more than 6 dogs, but we walk 6 dogs together. And we were saying to him last year, you need to put your prices up, because what you do is absolutely phenomenal. It changes lives, not just of the dogs, but of the humans and the whole families. It changed the entire dynamic.
Yeah. And
he wasn't comfortable with it. Anyway, we had I had my first lesson with him this week since getting this new dog. And I said, look, I said to him at the end of the lesson, I said, right, now we've had the first lesson, I actually want to book you twice a week. I said, I know it's it's going to cost. I said, but I need to get this dog online, and I can't do it without you. Because I need my two to work together, as well as both of them both being independent animals that I can, train and work independently. And he said, well, my price is gone. I said, yes, I know. He said, but I can't charge you. I said, of course you can charge me. He said, no, because we're mates. I said, no. Because I cannot do what you do.
Yeah.
And I respect and value your expertise and knowledge. And I'm willing and happy to pay for that. Yeah. And he said, well, before the lesson, he said, I'd have said, no, I won't see you twice a week. He said, but now I've had the lesson, I will see you twice a week because I know you need it. And so we agreed a rate. Yeah. So we agreed mates rates, which I'm happy with that. Oh, then back to money. Look, there we go. It's what we were just saying, isn't it? Unexpected ways.
Exactly. It doesn't always look like money, and it doesn't always come the way you think it. So you got a good price. You wanted to pay him. Yeah. And he gave money, rewarded you for that. You started the flow, and it's flowed back to you.
Yeah. But he's put his prices up, and rightly so. Yeah. And I had a message from another friend of mine last night saying, "My God, I've had my first lesson with him. My God, this guy's a bloody magician."
Exactly. And people value what we do. All of us, people really value it, and they might struggle to pay, but when they do, they get massive results. Results.
Because sometimes something's really worth saving for, isn't it? If you can't do it there and then, it's really worth saving for. Absolutely. Because you get so much more, and you get so much more from it, don't you?
Yeah. And the feeling of saving for something it's a beautiful thing. It's not a feeling that I experienced until a few years ago, actually saving for something. Or when I did, it was a car. I bought a second-hand car for cash. And I was so proud of myself, and I didn't want that car to go. Yeah. It was so amazing, and the energy behind it made it a brilliant car. It was just a Toyota Avensis, but it was yours. It was mine, and I bought it. It was all mine. I'd never owned a car. Like, owned it outright. It was always on, credit and things like that. And I remember that feeling even now, just like, oh, I can afford that with like cash.
And isn't it? And it's that actually, and it gives you, it's a thing you then into self-confidence, aren't you? And into self-respect actually comes in, because I don't know if you've noticed, I don't know what your financial situation has been, but when you're absolutely up against it financially, and we've been there, we've been on the verge of bankruptcy. We were up and over our heads in debt. We both made some really bad business decisions. Kev's were far worse than mine at the time. And we were sinking at a rate of knots. And your self-respect goes as well, and your self-confidence goes. We were verging on being homeless, as well as being broke. And it is interesting, because the self-flagellation that goes on, that you're bloody useless, and you made stupid with those stupid decisions you made around money, because it was all around money. And it was it's really interesting, isn't it, how you then get into this cycle of self-flagellation and being useless and no confidence, and
that's that mirror that money holds up. So when you treat money badly, you start to suffer in your life. Like you nearly became homeless. Like you stopped loving money, and it stopped loving you back. You stopped loving yourself as well. That mirror, that money relationship in you. I had a home repossessed in my 20s, and I hated myself. I felt so stupid and incompetent. And all the time I felt stupid and incompetent, money was really hard. And I perpetuated this cycle of carry on. I had more distrust of money, and it kept proving to me that my distrust was right. And then I felt worse and worse and worse.
And you spiral downwards then, don't you?
Yeah, and you both spiral, your money and your relationship with yourself. So focusing on the positive energy on money starts both spirals going back up again, because they mirror each other. Your relationship with money mirrors your relationship with yourself.
So if you value yourself, on however you need to value yourself, it alters your relationship with money.
Yeah, and if you don't yet value yourself, you can start, because a lot of us struggle with the term self-love, even self-like, right? If we focus that energy on money, the self-like and the self-love just starts to grow naturally, because it reflects that. So it's a beautiful vehicle for starting to really be nice to yourself. And it sounds like it's so hard to explain how that is. It's just one of those things that seems to be inextricably linked. The way you focus on money, the way you treat money will reflect in the way you treat yourself.
It's transformative, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how do you switch from disliking yourself and money to liking money and liking yourself? So how do you make that mental switch?
So it is a choice, and it's not an easy choice. It's, you have to switch on abundance. And the fastest way to do that is to go out and look for it. Look for abundance generally. Just look for abundance. So go out. I always say, go out and look for money on the ground. And if you don't find money, you'll find something else. You'll find a beautiful flower that you've never seen before. Or you'll see like beautiful birds, or, if you go to the river, you'll see loads of like river animals. And normally you will find a penny as well, at least a penny. And celebrate every penny that comes in. So every time we tend to track what goes out, but we don't look at what comes in. Every time money comes in, be aware of it and celebrate it. Do a little happy dance. Just start the positive energy behind it. When you pay a bill, write on the bill or forward the email to yourself that says paid with thanks. Put a different energy behind it. The first thing I get my Academy members to do is to go on a treasure hunt, and they have to look in different places for money, and they also have to look in different places for things like bills as well, so that they're all nice and organized. They don't have to pay them, they've just got to organize them. And that makes them realize, actually, there's more here than I thought there was. So maybe what Eloise is saying is true. And some people find a few pounds, other people, my biggest one's been £3,500 that have been in the environment. But most people find by the time we're halfway through the academy, they find that all of their course fees have been covered with what they've found. And it's not about going out scavenging at all. It's just you start, it's an abundance mindset. You start seeing it all around you. You just go, oh, I got a voucher from Costa. That's £5 I wasn't expecting. Or, oh, I found a gift card in my sock drawer. Oh, you know, it starts adding up. But the first thing I say is go and look for it. I bet you could find money in your house right now where you don't know it is. It'll be down the back of the sofa, in a drawer in your kitchen, in your coat pockets, in your purses, in trousers that you haven't worn for a while. I find my best place for me is my washing machine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we don't use cash in this house. There's 3 adults here, my son, my partner, and myself. We don't use cash. And yet every couple of weeks there'll be between £7 and £11 in the washing machine. Now, I don't know how it gets there.
Strange, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'd say the first thing, go looking for it. Look for it. Go and see how much you can find right now. And it doesn't matter if it's only a penny. That's proof that there's money that you didn't know about out there that you weren't seeing.
And the key behind that is to feel that joy and graciousness and that, I'll use the word thanks behind it, isn't it? Is that excitement, that joy, that fun behind it.
Yeah, and that's why you have to do a happy dance for every penny.
Yeah, because if you bring up that emotion, because money is about emotion, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we put behind it. Yeah. So make it a positive one rather than going, oh, I only found a penny. Go, oh my God, I found a penny. I didn't know that was there, you know?
Yeah, and that's what starts to switch it, isn't it? There's
and then you start attracting what you're asking the universe for.
Absolutely.
You're vibrating at a higher level.
Of course. Many years ago, I ran a one-day workshop about spirituality and the 7 keys to manifestation and spirituality or something. It was a really good course. It basically was all my years of experience of manifesting and stuff put into a one-day workshop. And it's around the same time as The Secret, The Law of Attraction, and what was the other thing? The German lady, Cosmic Ordering.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've been working with this stuff prior to all of this stuff coming out, and I'd shared some of it with a girlfriend of mine, another girlfriend of mine, and at the time she was a bit broke. We're see the pattern here. We're all a bit broke, and so she was actually doing Secret Shopper, and one of the things she had to do was go into the bank, one of the high street banks, as a secret shopper, and organise the loan for, I can't remember what the value was now, I don't know, £35,000 or something. So she went off into the bank, and she literally, as she walked through the doors of the bank, she thought, cool, I could actually do a 35 grand right now. I just throw away thought, didn't think any more of it, no attachment to it, whatever. Went in, did the thing, wrote a report up, and she got home. Anyway, a few weeks later, a family member had passed on, and they had to clear the house, and they kept finding stashes of money taped at the underneath of drawers, literally in old money, the old £5 notes, £10 notes. They found it under the bed. They found it inside envelopes, tucked in cupboards. Anyway, the upshot of it was there was over £100,000 there.
Wow.
And so the 3 of them with the family that were clearing the house actually said, I think it's somebody to their dad. So, well, look, we're all here doing it. Let's split it 3 ways.
Almost exactly 35.
There was a 35 grand.
And that detachment is really important. The detachment from the negative feeling, because we go, I want 35 grand, and it's a need. But when
it's the fear, isn't it? The fear.
Yeah. And that's why being playful around money is so important, because there's no need when you're being playful. You're just having fun, and you're open to more of it. So yeah, I love that. We do something in my group, which is, I actually got it from Rhonda Byrne, but from The Magic, not from The Secret. I've honed the technique significantly, and it's magic checks, which are, you basically write a check to the universe and you manifest an amount of money, and it will do it to within a few pennies. And I always remind them to add or more to their manifestation as well, because that opens the door to the universe to be a little bit more creative. But those manifestation techniques work really well, and using the magic check makes it fun. So you detach from the need. It's amazing, and they get paid, and it's beautiful. Because
so is that once a week or once a month or once a year?
So I teach it once a month. We write checks once a month, but you can also write checks for a one-off amount of money too. There are some rules around it. Money is not like manifesting a house, even though a house costs a lot more than maybe you want £500 or £5,000. But we have a lot of subconscious blocks around money. So we have to be really careful not to freak our subconscious out. For some reason, we can manifest a house that's £500,000, but we can't manifest 500 quid for a shopping trip. We just sit in our own way with it. Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? So also, there's a lot of work to be done on, I call it money alchemy, but the goal is to sort of pull apart parts of the subconscious belief and then put it back together in a way that serves you. Like in alchemy, where the molecules come apart and reform into something new. And that's what we do. And we do it through fun, and we do it through conversations as well. Because here's the thing. Most of us know more about our friends' love lives than we do about their money lives. We find it easier to talk about our intimate lives. So we should be talking about money like she's one of us. She's lovely, rather than hiding her away in a corner where no one sees her. She likes a bit of attention.
You get embarrassed, don't we? All feel guilty about it.
Yeah, and we're taught it's rude to talk about money. And in the workplace, it can be a sackable offence to declare, to tell anyone what your salary is. So we're taught by society, do not talk about money. It's rude, or it's an offence. But having those conversations, talking positively about money, that transforms things as well. And your subconscious is always listening. So when you start consciously talking beautifully about money, your subconscious starts to pick that up and can sometimes play up a bit as that separation happens, but it reforms into a different belief. And then you start seeing money flow towards you. And I see there's a few people here from my group, and they are seeing money flow towards them almost effortlessly since they've reformed some of those subconscious beliefs. Amazing.
Well, I'm seeing some really interesting questions on here. So let's have a quick look at some of the questions. We just go back up because we've got quite a few here. So what people are saying. So highlights. If I said hello to you, hello everybody and welcome. We're what? God, we've put on 45 minutes already.
It only feels like we've been on 10 minutes.
Oh my goodness. So Lucia was saying that's dissipated her trigger. So that's obviously something you were talking about there. So it's dissipated the trigger. So Em saying she loves the fact that money's feminine, makes such a difference. Yeah. So she's supportive and fabulous. I like that, Emma.
Yeah.
Yes, and actually, I suppose if you think of it, because women are supportive, aren't they?
Yeah.
And we are the emotional support system for our families, aren't they? Aren't we? And so for us to be supportive to our families, we need the support of something behind us.
Yeah.
And if money can give us that support.
Yeah. And it does. It does. It pays our electricity bills. It enables us to eat food. It enables us to drive to wherever we need to get to. That's money. That's money. Money is supporting us. We just choose not to see it that way a lot of the time.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting that the subconscious blocks or fears or negative emotion we have around money?
Yeah, but there's a really good reason for that. So our subconscious, as you know, is designed to keep us safe.
Yeah.
But we're taught that money is bad. Money is the root of all evil. So it's not safe for us to have money. We also know people who have money and aren't very nice people. We also know a lot of people who do have money that are nice people, but we might not know that they've got money. because they don't talk about it. So our subconscious just puts up a no entry sign and says, you can't come in here. So either money is repelled and goes to someone else, or we get it and then something will happen that proves, in inverted commas, that you're not meant to have it. Like, you've got one, haven't you?
Well, there's 3 things have come to mind. And this is family historical. One of those is huge. My mum always said that money changes you and not for the better.
Yeah.
And money is the root of all evil. And it's never made a big deal of it. It's just sort of the conversation you have as a family.
Yeah, and that's a fact. That's what people believe is a fact. So,
yeah. It's never made a big deal of any of it, but there was just a conversation I can remember having as a child. Now, what's really, really interesting is when I was 21, 22, just back in the late 80s, we had a complete house fire, and I was called away from work. I was taken straight to the police station, and I was asked where my parents were, and I said, I don't know. When I left work, when they were at home, he said, well, we found 2 bodies. It's like, shit. He said, we can't identify them. We don't know where your folks are, and da 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 da. Anyway, it turned out that what had happened, that the dogs had been killed in the fire.
Oh,
my parents were fine, which was, a bit of a double-edged sword. No, I don't mean it, Mum. Yeah. But what happened prior to that is that Mum had won something. And it was literally like a week or 2 weeks before. And she had this thing that if she hadn't have won that, the fire wouldn't have happened. We literally had what we stood up in. We were middle of August, and I was a pair of cut-off jeans shorts, a t-shirt, and a pair of wellies. So I was working in the kennels, and that is all I had. What I stood up. I didn't have a fucking toothbrush. Yeah.
So what she actually had was a money block.
Yeah. And so I guess I inherited those.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's understandable. I mean, that's a trauma. That's a massive trauma, isn't it? So it makes sense that your subconscious would attach a belief around money to that.
Absolutely. I remember I was released from the police station about 5:25, and I ran up the high street, and I've never spent £2,000 so fast in all my life.
To get rid of it.
Well, I just needed clothes. I needed clothes, I needed a toothbrush, I needed bras, I needed a hair dryer, I needed a hairbrush. I just needed a pair of shoes.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't have a pair of jeans or a skirt to my name. I literally had what I stood up in. Literally.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go around in same knickers and welly boots all through August and September.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I remember saying to my boyfriend, my God, I have never spent £2,000 so quickly.
So fast, yeah.
I think I did it in 5 minutes.
That's pretty good going.
Just because I needed to go and get, I didn't have that in the bank because that's overdraft from the bank. I just went, it was literally within 15 minutes, overdraft was organised, and I just needed.
And you didn't have the money.
Yeah. And literally came in and went out.
So it's a good example of how money supported you at that time of need.
I then worked my arse off for the next 3 years to pay it off. And actually, go back to the thing about your car. I then worked. I had a conversation with the girl I was working with, and she was saying what she used to do, because she had a big debt at one point. And so what she would do is she'd have 3 weeks of the month where everything was put away. It was saved. It literally bare essentials were needed, and all the bills were paid. Everything was done. Then on payday, she would go out and she would treat herself to, I think it was probably tapes or CDs in those days.
Yeah.
And that would be her treat, or next one to be a haircut, or if she should maybe miss a month and save up and get a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
But every single penny went off for paying her debt. But she would have one treat a month.
And that's so
followed
important.
That rigidly for about 19 months, and I paid off my debt. It escalated to about £3,500 at that point. Yeah. But I paid every single penny of that back, and by God, did I feel good.
Yeah, and the fact that you were treating yourself as well, that's so important, because money is for you as well, and it's important that you enjoy money. Mark and I, we take money out of our joint bank account. We're allowed a certain amount, and the goal is to spend every single last penny before the end of the month on whatever we want. Doesn't matter. We're not allowed to ask each other, why did you buy that? You don't need that. it's our money, and it's a game to spend it on something we want. So like, I get my money, I spend it on what I want. This week I spent it on hair accessories. This month it's hair accessories. Mark will buy some weird electronic thing from China. I don't know why, but he will. And it's just because it's important to have fun and enjoy money, because if you're constantly, I mean, at one stage I was over £100,000 in consumer debt, not even mortgage debt, that was just credit card and loan. But you have to enjoy money even whilst you're paying your debt off. Otherwise, paying your debt off gets a really even more negative feeling. It's like, oh, every penny. So a little bit of fun money, a little bit of play money is really important. And you'll notice other chunks of money start coming in that pay your debt off even quicker when you have that energy of fun around money.
Look at that. God, it's fascinating, isn't it?
It is. I love it. It fascinates me, and I talk about it all the time.
Shall we go back to our comments?
Yeah.
What else have we got here? Abby's saying, highly recommend your money alchemy.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that and talk about that in a minute then.
Yeah.
So Veronique's saying, I have a problem. I was asked to do an energy painting for someone who was reluctant to ask for money for it, even though beside the painting also sending the description of the energies I felt. Not sure either how much to ask.
That's a difficult one. So when you're not sure, what I recommend to people is, let me just read that. I was asked to do an energy painting, reluctant to ask for money for it. Yeah. It's difficult, isn't it? If you're not used to charging people, it is difficult. What I've got a couple of clients who really struggle with this, and what I invite them to do is to send their clients who they're not sure about charging, to send them their PayPal link or their coffee link or something like that, and see what they pay. And most of them are really pleasantly surprised. You know, sometimes people don't pay what you're worth, but if you have no clue where to start, leave it to your client, but don't leave it to your client for too long. Like just this one, and then start charging, and then slowly increase the price. You don't want to freak yourself out. That's the thing with money mindset. So with other work, you can set big goals. With money mindset, you've got to be really careful. So I recommend maybe you send a PayPal link for this client, and then the next 2 clients you charge whatever that client pays you. And then the next 2 clients you add a bit and you add a bit. So you step up at a rate that's you're in control of, and you're getting used to getting paid. Like, I'd love for you to say you should be charging £5,000 a go. But if you're not at that stage, it's just going to freak you out, and you're not going to be in alignment with it when you talk about it. So you have to really slowly build up. Little steps will get you up that big mountain for sure.
It's a bit like Kevin is building his business, where he felt comfortable pricing it.
Yeah.
Even if it meant taking off a couple of £100.
Yeah.
He felt comfortable because it built his confidence. And obviously the clients were happy clients, and they talked to other friends, and so it went on.
Yeah. And one other tip when you're charging, which my coach told me and it blew my brains, she said, don't get into other people's purses. You don't know what they can afford. You don't know how they can pay. So you might think, oh, I need to give them a discount, but they're happy to pay more. If people don't ask for a discount, don't give it. But don't assume they can't afford it, or they won't pay £100 or £200. Don't get in their purse. Stay out of their purse and let them decide. And
if they can't afford you, they won't come to you.
Exactly, but they might be able to afford you, and you might have just left a load of money on the table that they're willing to give you.
Wow.
So we've got to work on our ability to receive as well as to attract, because we can attract lots of money if we can't receive it.
So then we come into not feeling worthy, don't we? Not feeling good enough.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a minefield, isn't it?
But there is a formula, and there is a set of things that you can do every single day to really help with this. So it sounds like a lot, but I'm really logical, and I love little tiny steps. So you can do a series of little things that make a big difference, and they're not overwhelming, or they won't freak you out, and they're things that you can fit in because they take next to no time at all. So that sounds like a lot, but follow the process and it works beautifully.
Look at that. Okie dokie. So we've got comments, but I thought we've got so Veronica's completely blown away right now. So Veronica was saying she's thinking about asking about 50 quid.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair price, Veronica. I think that's a very fair price, my love.
And if you get it, try putting it up next time if you're comfortable with it.
Exactly. Go 60, 55, 75, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Paula, what's Paula saying? I was thinking imposter syndrome can prevent people charging the right amount for their skills and knowledge. Once you receive the positivity from customers, it improves your confidence and self-worth. So it helps you charge what is the correct amount for your services. That's really true, P. Yeah, I'll go with that. Excellent. It is fascinating. So has anybody got any questions for Eloise before we start and wind this up?
I just saw there, Caroline, sorry, that Lucien paid over £300 for an energy painting and it was worth every penny. Can you see that comment?
Oh, yeah.
So that's just a useful sort of benchmark for you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So do you want to tell us a bit? So you've got the Alchemy Academy, haven't you, that you do?
Yeah, so I've got the Money Alchemy Academy. It's a 12-week program. If you'd like to find out more about that, I'm running a free Money Alchemy masterclass where I teach you loads of stuff you can take away for free. And then I also tell you about the Academy as well. And Caroline put the link on this, on the event for this, didn't you?
Yeah.
But it's a transformative program. It's over 12 weeks, which just slowly, it's slow, but it's quick, if you know what I mean. It's little things. It's not loads of training. It's just a bit of training every week that just loosens up your money mindset and then really helps you reform it. And the results are, they astound even me, and I created it, which I love. But I also have, is it okay to show my cards, Caroline?
Oh, God, yeah, do. Please do.
I also have this beautiful set of cards. This is the box. And it's been designed to feel... Huh?
Oh, I haven't ordered mine yet. I need to order mine.
Yeah. I designed these to look and feel amazing. So these are the backs of them. And they feel like moleskin. Those moleskin books that you get, they feel like that. They're a set of affirmation cards. They're not oracle cards, but you can read them if you're a reader. They do seem to work really well with readers. But they have a beautiful image, which is about the energy and essence of money, and an affirmation for you to work with for the day. And you can use them like oracle cards or affirmation cards. I'll show you another one. They're all about the essence and energy of money. And they're available on my website as well. So
at the end of this, could you stick some links into the chat as well? For people?
Of course. Thank you. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. But these are great for if you're thinking, I feel a bit yucky about money. You pick them up, pick a card, and you think, like that one. Gorgeous.
I love and enjoy the energy and essence of money.
And it just peps you up, changes your vibration around money, and helps you get into that abundance mindset, which is where you'll find the money.
Excellent. So has anybody got any questions for Eloise before we wind up? The people saying you're amazing and love all that stuff.
Oh, bless.
So any last minute money questions or blocks around money that maybe Eloise can do a quick answer on for you? Beautiful cards. Yeah, they are beautiful cards.
They're gorgeous. I'm so proud of them. The ladies that have got them absolutely love them. You'll see that you'd have seen them in the group. It's
actually there's something quite surreal about producing your own cards, isn't there?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's terrifying and exciting at the same time.
It really is. And I channeled these, so I feel a bit bad saying I created them. It came through me, not from me. But it's lovely to have that tangible thing that you kind of birth them, don't we? Absolutely. Well, I think we haven't got any questions, so I think everybody's stunned into silence.
Yeah, I think everybody's got so much to go away and think about, and it is quite interesting, isn't it? How we have blocks around money.
Totally. People say to me, how do I know if I've got a block around money? Well, I have a block around money because I don't have all the money that I want. Okay. So if you don't have the money life that you want, you probably have a block around money. Sometimes they hide, like our beliefs hide, don't they?
Yeah.
And they can take a little bit of digging around to get to. But if you don't have all the money that you want, then you have a block somewhere in you, and you don't have to stay there. And you might have a block at hundreds, thousands, millions. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The blocks, they're all the same. Some of them are deeper than others, but we all have similar blocks as well. That's the really interesting thing, that we all have very similar blocks, no matter where we are on our money journey.
I guess because we've all had the same kind of lessons taught to us about money being masculine, patriarchal.
Absolutely.
And all that stuff that we've left behind in the previous 2,000 years.
Exactly, particularly for women. I said to you, we weren't even allowed to open our own bank accounts without our dad or husband's permission until 1975. Like,
really?
1975, Caroline. We needed someone's permission a man's permission to open a bank account in our own name. Yeah?
That I didn't know.
I know. So money is really new to women because it has been used to control us.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes my hackles go up.
I know. I know. Because we've been, the patriarchy, it's whatever situation we're in this situation, women have been held back. We were seen only as valuable in marriage and child rearing throughout the years.
On somebody's arm.
Yeah. These days it's changing, and that's creating a lot of friction. But 1975, so not that long ago. Scarily not that long ago. No,
I was 9.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you were married, you'd need your husband's permission to open a bank account. And if you weren't married, you'd need your father's permission. That wasn't all banks, but that was the year that all banks would allow you to open a bank account in your own name as a woman. And in 1982, they took back a law which said that a pub landlord could refuse to serve a woman paying with her own money. 1982, that law was in place until... I don't know any pub landlords that would have declined any money, no matter where it came from, but that was a law that they could refuse a woman paying with her own money until 1982. So don't feel bad. We shouldn't feel bad that we're struggling with this. Like, we're new to it.
We are. Yeah. Because really money's a very new energy for us, because up until that point, the men controlled the money and therefore controlled us.
Yeah.
My God.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it?
Jesus.
When I found that out, I didn't know that until a few months ago. When I found that out, I was like, what?
Holy moly.
It's amazing, isn't it?
That's just stunned me into complete speechlessness.
Which never happens.
Never happens. Wow.
Yeah.
Veronique's just said, yes, women were only allowed into the lounge bar and not in the public bar. Yes, I can remember my dad saying to me, you don't go in the public bar.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, I don't like going in the public bar.
Mm-hmm.
A pub. Not going to a public bar or a pub, but,
No, yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable in the public bar of a pub.
Because of that story that you were told.
Yeah, women don't go in the public bar of a pub, yeah. Or nice women don't go in the public bar of a pub, I think was a connotation.
Yeah, so that's one of the core beliefs is like we have to be nice. And if nice girls don't have money, nice girls don't go, get told all these things. Nice girls just do what they're told. And, and they're told to us with good intention. Like, yes, that's what our parents were told. And, there's no malice behind that a lot of the time.
No.
But it sticks in our subconscious mind. And then we feel like we're not worthy.
Yeah.
It turns into I'm not worthy.
Wow.
It's huge, isn't it?
Huge. It's been a brilliant evening. Thank you so much, Eloise.
Thank you for having me, Caroline.
Oh, absolute pleasure. So I do want to do when's your free introduction to the masterclass thingy?
So the masterclass is on the 4th of May, and Caroline's popped a link underneath the event here. It will be about an hour and a half to 2 hours on some tips that you can use. I'll even take you to meet money, which is a beautiful trip to take, and everyone who's done it is just blown away by it. So even if you want to just come and meet money with us, come and meet money. It's mind-blowing.
Excellent. And then you do your is it a 12-week alchemy course?
Yes, and I'll tell everyone all the details. It's closed at the moment, but I'll tell everyone about that when the doors open.
Fantastic. And do you have a website?
I do. It's fearlesslyfeminine.me, and you'll find all my services. You'll also find, actually, there's a free Sacred Money Archetype Assessment, which is your money personality. It'll take you about 10-15 minutes to complete. So you can get that free and find out what your money personality is and start working with your strengths and your challenges.
I shall have to go and have a look at that then.
Yeah, go and have a look.
Fantastic. So would you stick a link into the comments for your website?
I will. Yeah, I'll do that.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And I think we will reconvene again at a later date this year. And people can compare notes and see how far they've come on.
Yes, that would be amazing.
And you guys that are here tonight, come and have a chat with us about money and what. And those of you that aren't here, you have missed out on a really fantastic live. You'll have to do it on catch up. But you've really missed out on a cracking life. But I do wonder whether there's that thing of spirituality and money don't go together. There's we've got 8 on a Friday night. That's really low for this page.
Money, when people are ready, they come to this work. Totally. There's a lot of fear, and like I said, it's a taboo, so it can make people feel very uncomfortable.
Totally. When they're ready, they'll come.
Yeah, and then we find all sorts of reasons to avoid it. But when it's time, they'll come.
Absolutely. The thing is, it's going to be on my page forever and a day.
Yep.
But they will find it, because what we're talking about tonight will be completely valid tomorrow and in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
It's not going to lessen in value in any way, shape, or form.
No.
So
exactly.
I just find it really interesting. I've had a ball. Thank you.
I have too. It's gone so fast.
And you lot have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you. I can't remember the next one is. I'm with Mariella talking about walking and talking. So it's all about therapy. She's trying to take the taboo out of therapy and seeing counsellors and things. So that is what my next one's all about in about 10 days' time, which will be good. Really cool. Eloise, thank you so much, darling. Have a fantastic weekend, you and everybody else, and I will see you as and when.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.